Hello everyone, I'm Carol and this is my channel, Cow's Journals. If you're a new subscriber or if you pop by on a regular basis, welcome as always. And if you're somebody that's just happened upon my channel, well, I hope you'll stop a little while to see what I'm going to do today. I've got my prompts here for Margarete Miller's 2024 Collage Challenge, and I'm going to do assignment number 10. So I've got my prompts, and the first one is a piece of furniture. So I've got this lovely chest of drawers, which I fussy cut already. Absolutely love these, and if this cabinet maker wasn't in New Zealand, I think I'd commission him to make a set of these drawers for us, but it's a bit too far away and I think the shipping would cost too much. So I've got that to use, and I've also fussy cut this, which is a very quirky and colourful looking sofa. So I've got these to use. At the moment, I think my preference is going to be for this one because I think I'm going to need a pop of colour, but I have got that one as a backup. The second prompt is an advertisement. Well, I've got these Moo Card vintage retro labels, tags and advertisements. I got these for Christmas, so I'm just going to delve quickly through these and see if I can pull out something that I might want to use. And I'm looking for something with a little bit of colour, something like that rather than the white ones. There's some blue there, that might work. And oh, definitely that one I like the look of straight away. Love that, so I could use that one. What else have I got in here? Possibly that one. Okay, well, I've got two choices there, so I'm not going to delve any further. As always, any products that I use in any of my videos, there's always details in the description box below the video. So I'll do that with these. The third prompt is a scrap of sheet music. Well, I had this left over from doing an earlier assignment, so it's a bit of French sheet music, so I'm going to use that. Smoke or fire. I've gone with this image. It's a Japanese tattoo of smoke, so I'm going to use this. I'm also going to try and create a bit of a background, which I might use. I'm not saying I will use it, I might use it. And for that, I've got some tissue paper, and to hit that fire or smoke prompt, if I decide to use this, I've got some Distress Oxide Hickory Smoke. All I'm going to do is smush some of the ink from the ink pad onto my mixed media mat, spray it with a little bit of water and just splodge this through it, and then give it a blast with my heat gun. It's a simple enough technique, so I'm not going to do that on camera, but I will show you the end results, and at that stage I'll decide whether or not I want to use the dyed tissue paper as a background piece. What else have I got? Something that hangs on a string or cord. I really struggled with this one. I thought of things like charms that hang on a cord around your neck. I thought of things tied up with string. I thought of light pulls, but I couldn't find anything that was quirky enough. I thought about thread rather than string or cord, and I was just going to print off the word life, because there's that saying that life hangs on a thread at times. So I might go with a charm, and I might go with the word life. I'm not sure. What I'm going to do is put my piece together and then make a decision. And I know if I go with the word life, it is a bit of artistic license, because in the prompt it refers to string or cord. It actually doesn't refer to thread, but as I say, I might go with a bit of artistic license on that point. And finally, bonus typewriter text. Well, I've got this portion of a solicitor's letter. And finally, I've got some stamping that I did for another of Margarete Miller's assignments, but one of the assignments from last year. And in particular, it was reverse numbers. And I did this stenciling, and then as you can see there, I've reversed the numbers, and on this side it's embossed, on that side it isn't. I'm going to use this to pick up the red here and also the black from the smoke, but I just thought that would add a little bit of extra interest on my piece. As you can see, I could use it like that, or even like that. So anyway, that's for me to play with. So I've got these pieces all lifted out, ready to go more or less, apart from the fifth prompt, something that hangs on a string or a cord. And as I say, I'll deal with that when I've got my collage together. As usual, I've got my background paper here with a border around it. But my first job is to try and do something with this tissue paper so that I can decide if I want to use that as a background piece. So I'm going to go away and do that, and then I'll be back. This is how the tissue paper looks with the Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink smushed on it. This is the right side this way, and then if I flip it over, it's obviously more muted on the reverse. There we go. I'm hoping that background from the table isn't too distracting for you. And if I bring in this, then I'm really liking how it's looking, because there are tones of brown in this picture as well. I've cut a portion of the tissue paper and I'm liking how that's looking. If I decide that this is too dark up here, I can always split this and maybe use the lighter piece, flip it round and use the lighter piece up there. Definitely love how this looks down here. So this piece I've cut in half and I'm going with the embossed piece. So let's just have a bit of a play and see where we can go with this. I'm not going to trim this one down if I can help it. I'm going to try and make this my focal element, even though I've got a very bright sofa here to pull it. Oh, liking that down there. Oh, okay. So let's move that across there like that. I could get that squiggle up that side, or maybe even if I move that across some more and slightly down and make use of that line and the curve of the sofa. Now if I use this, I think it's going to be the wrong orientation. I'm not liking it next to that. Whoops, I could tuck it in there. Okay, don't want that one. This one's a darker colour which picks up that better and that better. These two colours aren't identical, but they're close enough. This is brighter, the red on here is brighter, so that's why that's wrong. I'm not too keen on this down the side, but if I bring in these, probably will discard that altogether actually, because it's going to make it too bland, and I'm liking this pop of colour, so I'm going to get rid of the chest of drawers. That will do the business. I'm going to just trim a little off the top and a little off this edge here. I'm also going to trim off this bottom edge. I like the look of the composition that I've got here. Sorry, my glasses are in frame here. I like the look of the composition I've got here. The sofa isn't actually grounded on anything, so I am wondering about turning this background around so that I've got this dark area down here and it's lighter at the top. But in terms of where everything else is positioned, I'm happy enough with this that I'm pretty sure I can get something from this page on here. My initial thought is something like Yours Faithfully down the side there and make use of that. Or I might actually be able to get a piece down in here, but I'm wondering then, if I do that though, whether this will make it too light down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these pieces in place and just leave this edge here underneath this image and this red, leave that edge unglued so I can actually tuck a piece in there if I want to. So all these pieces are glued down now, and you saw me trim just this little bit off the bottom of this, and I was thinking that I could probably use that down the bottom, but this portion I've just popped in the side here, and actually I really like it. It's balancing that piece out on this side in terms of the colour. When I tried it out down here to see if I needed to ground the sofa, I actually didn't like that play of colour down there. I felt that I needed to break it up on this side, so I'm going to go with that and I'm going to glue that there. There we go, that's all glued in place now. So I've got a couple of things left to decide before I can call this a finished assignment and glue this onto my piece. I need to firstly decide whether I want my backing paper in place, and if I do, whether I want it this way round. So let me just pop it in position and see if I'm happy with it being heavier at the top than it is at the bottom. Let's have a look at it round the other way. So I'm just going to turn it round this way and revolve everything round. And yes, I do. I like that. I'm actually going to go with it this way round because of this smoke image here. I'm going to work on the premise that if we've got smoke clouds, they are drifting towards the top. Ordinarily, I would have put this at the bottom so that everything feels more grounded, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with it this way. Okay, so that's my tissue paper glued to my piece of backing. I'm going to glue this in place now. And as you can see, I've ripped away some of this portion here because I want to save it. It's only going to be hidden behind, so I'm going to just put some glue on here. Position it on my piece here so that I can get an equal border on either side. I've got one of my sofa legs is a little bit wonky, so I'm just going to try and lift that and reposition it. So I would call that a finished piece today, but I haven't got all the prompts in. I need to have prompt number 5 in, which is something that hangs on a string or a cord. Now, what I had thought of was to have the word life and go with a bit of artistic license, but I'm not going to do that because I've got some words there. So I think I'm going to go with the other idea that I had, which is a charm, in that a charm can hang on a string round your neck, or a cord, a leather cord or something like that round your neck, as in a piece of jewellery, or we have charms that hang on our journal spines. So I'm going to go rooting in amongst my charm stash and see what I can come up with to go on here, and I'll be back. Well, I actually didn't have to search far because I came across this. I decided I'd need to go with more of the antique bronze type charm on here because of the colour hues that I've got. So that sort of lends to the browns and the greys, doesn't it? Rather than the silver or the golds. And then I came across this piece. Now, this piece was a part of an earring, or one of an earring. I bought a few of these ages ago because I thought they would look lovely in a Japanese journal, if I hold that up. And I thought that with it being circular, I could pop it in there and also pick up the colours off here. So let me show you what it looks like. If I just put it in the centre there, I've got enough of the red around the outside showing. I just need to move it across a little bit like that for me to get my rule of 3. It's got a creamy background, which is picking up this and a little bit of this, and also it's giving me a pop of colour to almost tie in with this. I'm pretty certain that art glitter glue would work to glue this, but I'm going with a tried and tested belt and braces as far as I'm concerned, which is Glossy Accents, and I'm just going to use that to glue my piece in place. So I'm just going to gently lay it down. So that's my piece finished for today. As I'm looking at it, I want to go away to my sewing machine and do some stitching around the outside, just to frame it a little bit more. Normally I walk away from that and resist the temptation, but not today. I'm going to sew. As you can see, I've gone all the way around the outside with 2 lines of messy machine stitching just to add a bit of a frame, and I've picked creamy beigey colour for my cotton colour, which I thought would work. If I'd been brave, I probably could have stitched that quite happily with black machine stitching, or black thread rather, but I didn't. I decided to play safe and go for the beige. So quickly to go through the prompts: a piece of furniture, well, I went with this lovely quirky sofa down here. An advertisement, well, this is my Carl Larson Bock sticker down here. A scrap of sheet music, well, I've got my French sheet music there. Fire or smoke, well, I used hickory smoke on tissue paper to create my background effect here. And also I went with this Japanese smoke tattoo image for almost my focal piece there, or my central piece if nothing else. Something that hangs on a string or a cord. Well, jewellery hangs on a cord, charms hang on a cord, so I went with this earring piece as a charm embellishment up there, and as I said, hopefully to pick up some colours from here. And finally, typewriter text. Well, I went with the words yours faithfully down the side, hopefully with a rule of 3 in terms of the colour tone in this light beigey colour. So I've got the sheet music, that, and this piece. And then in terms of my reds, I've got the red on here, the red on the tattoo image, and the red in this scrap background piece. And that's it. I'm calling it a day, everybody. I hope you enjoy seeing this one come together, and as always, I'll put some pictures at the end of the video so that you can have a closer look. Product details will be in the description box below the video, and I'd love it if you join me for the next assignment, which will be assignment number 11. So until then, everybody, happy crafting, keep safe, keep happy. Bye bye now.